Hello and welcome to another episode of Trailside Dukes. Thanks for being here with us. We've got a lot to talk about today, Tony.
Corey, we have a lot to talk about and show because you've got some sweet
Got the
swag on
Go
right
Dolphins.
now. Dude, you got to turn around. Show the back. Come
got
on.
the Merino jersey.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Right. Dan the man.
Okay.
I'm going to show.
And what do you have?
Hey.
Hockey started last night.
Regular season started last night. Flames are playing the Jets as we speak. Okay, classic Jerome McGinley. Let's go, baby.
All right. I like that.
Fun.
Well, I don't know if we have enough time to talk hockey tonight, but I would say I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of stuff we need to talk about.
Dude, I might grab that stick off the wall right now and give you a good cross-check.
I love hockey. My team lost last night. We'll talk about it next week.
The Kraken?
Yeah.
Tough one against Vegas.
Yeah, it was. So let's do this. How about next week, you guys tune in, and then we will maybe give our predictions of who will win each division.
I like it. Yeah, and if you have your own predictions, email us. What do they email us at, Corey?
You can email us at trailsidedukes@gmail.com. And I think we're getting some I'm mad emails from some of our listeners. We got to touch on that
pretty
this
fun.
week.
Very fun. I like it.
Yep.
Well, we're not at I'm mad yet, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Up first, let's talk about some NFL stuff. We've got some surprises with some teams, good and bad. But I think really what we would need to do to make it right is just talk about Dick Butkus and the passing of him and his impact on the NFL and kind of the stamp that he left on that league. So pretty big loss for the NFL.
Yeah, I think they honored him at the Bears game. And, if you think of there were a lot of linebackers before him, like playing in the 60s and stuff like that were hard-nosed. But he kind of brought it into the modern era with, the monsters of the Midway, leading up into that 80s Bear team with just a ferocious linebacker that would just hurt you.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely like the very little padding, it seemed like, and just go out there and kill the other team kind of thing. Like, whatever gets in my way, I'm ripping its head off.
I've been studying his tackle technique, just because, I was just amazed at just the impact he's had, like with forearm, and I've been practicing it, Corey. I was wondering if you would be the tackling dummy for
Seriously?
me. Totally.
Sitting here with a broken wrist and you want to do a dip buck?
I want to go in with the forearm into your mouth area.
Let's go ahead. Show up.
Okay, so
I'm ready.
Here.
Well,
it's
I would be
punch to the. Oh. It's a punch to the stomach.
I just can't see the punch, but it's down there.
Well, we'll show.
So
he
punched to the gut and then a throwdown
punch
or something.
His body would go through the body of the other person. I don't want to do that to you, Corey.
Leave me as a ghost.
Yeah. Plus, I'm going to hurt you a little later when we still have to do the paintballs because you're going to be the paintball target for me for the Mariners not making the playoffs.
We're beyond that. There's no paintballs.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the teams that are surprising us so far in the NFL.
Could be good or bad, right? Some surprises.
It could be. Well, why don't you start first?
You know what I mean? Like, I have some good friends that are Cowboys fans, both in Canada and here in the U.S. And obviously, any fan of any team is going to have the best wishes for their team and thinking they're going to be really good. But I think the Cowboys are showing that they are not that good.
Yeah, I don't know if this would be a good time to mention it, but I think the teams that they've beaten have a combined record of 4-11 right now.
Right. And they didn't do too well against San Francisco.
No, and San Francisco isn't a team that's really surprising me right now. I think, they're doing...
Everybody thought they'd be good.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're good. The teams that you would think would be good are typically good. I think it'll be interesting to see what the Bills do, after their last loss to the Jags and losing their linebacker. Like, their defense is going to look different. So I'm interested in seeing that. But I would never peg the Patriots at only having one win or the Vikings
surprise.
only having one win.
Big surprise.
The tough thing with the Vikings is that they've only lost their games by like one score.
Yep.
And it's tough. And I'm sorry, Nick, but
Nick's
there's
mad.
some tough things going on with the Vikings. Just lost Jefferson on the IR. Who knows how long that'll be? IR's at least 4 weeks, but gosh, I feel for the Vikings. I don't really feel for the Patriots. Sorry, Bill Belichick, but the time's come. Sorry,
dude. He's Croatian, so I got a lot of respect for Bell coming up as in the ranks. The way he's done through Army and working with Purcell. And being the Giants D coordinator in those 90s when they were winning Super Bowls, and he's Croatian. Did I mention he's Croatian?
You mentioned he's Croatian.
He'll wear a Croatia patch sometimes. Coaching from the sideline.
Why do you like Croatians so much?
Well, I'm Croatian.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My parents immigrated from Croatia. We spoke Croatian at home. Like, let's go.
Croatian, a la Canada.
You know who
US
else
citizen.
is Croatian? Is Nick Saban.
Okay.
Croatian. There's a lot of great Croatians out there.
There are.
Yeah.
Any other teams kind of surprise you right now?
I think we've rattled them off. I mean, no.
Okay. Cowboys are kind of a tough surprise.
Yep.
Opposite way. Okay.
Too bad, so sad.
Should we move on to maybe like... Oh, you want some baseball? Okay, let's do some playoffs. Let's get everybody caught up with the playoffs. There's a game going on right now. It's underway, but pretty much the American League, we didn't really pick very well a couple weeks ago. We were going through the wild card round. But right now it's looking like an all-Texas AL championship series there.
Rangers are hot. Their bats are super hot. I read an interesting article that talked about they're looking at possibly changing the format for the playoffs because there's been an unfair advantage of the basically a week off for those division winners. And they haven't been doing, look at the Dodgers right now.
Right.
They're down 2-0 against the Diamondbacks, who they basically killed during the regular season.
Right.
And that's happened, both with, was Minnesota that good? Maybe not. But, the home teams haven't been doing well when they've had that time off.
The 1 and 2 seeds, right? Yeah. I was actually reading something like that earlier today as well, where it was the exact same thing, right? Those teams that have the byes cool off. They have to sit around and wait while these other teams have had a few games to play, and they just keep going, right?
And that's not baseball. That 162 season, right? They're used to that grind, and then you got a week. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, I think one of the arguments was that week is actually longer than just sitting around waiting for the All-Star break to be over in, second weekend of July.
Yeah, so maybe on the show we tell those,
interesting.
We tell MLB expand it to a couple more teams so all the teams are playing right away. Why not?
And as we sit here today, that's what the American League looks like with Texas and Houston. And then right now, Philly just took care of Atlanta in their third game. So Philadelphia leads 2-1. And then the D-backs are taking on the Dodgers, like you mentioned. The Dodgers are down.
They're hurting.
2 games already.
Yep, my friend Jeff, he's not happy.
So who do you think, out of the teams that are there, let's just make a prediction. Who goes to the World Series? Who do you think?
I think Texas is really hot. I think Texas so too. For the AL, and Philadelphia is getting really hot. Although if
who knows if the D-backs.
If Arizona wins, what I mean, it'll be an interesting one. But I would predict Texas against Philadelphia.
And Texas has never won a World Series, I don't think.
Good.
There's only 6 teams, I think, in Major League Baseball that haven't won the World Series.
No, I don't want them to win.
One of them's Texas. One of them was another playoff team, the Brewers. Another one...
Mariners haven't won.
Mariners haven't won.
Do you know the Blue Jays have won 2?
2, yes. Yeah. They have.
2.
Yep. So, I don't know. I think out of the 4 remaining teams for National League, I think Philadelphia and the Diamondbacks will get in there. Jeez, I don't know. I'll go. You picked Philadelphia? I'll pick Diamondbacks. Just
Nice
because
work,
you picked
Corey.
Philadelphia.
Nice work.
Diamondbacks in Texas. That'd be kind of a cool series, I guess.
Why not?
Okay. Should we talk a little? How about some college basketball?
Let's do it.
You want to do that? There's
Yeah.
a lot of Gonzaga stuff going on right now.
Let's hear about it.
Big talk right now for Gonzaga is the Big 12's looking at them to join.
You like that?
Next year, I thought when stuff started shuffling around with talks of football, like, maybe 9 months ago or whatever,
Yep.
I actually thought that if that happened, it would be cool because Mark was talking about stuff kind of getting realigned. And then I was talking and I was like, well, would you guys be looking to move to like the Big 12 then? Because that would be like a good conference for you guys to get into. Mm-hmm. And he didn't really say anything, but that was just kind of where my mind went because I was thinking like, where else are they going to go after the WCC if people are jumping from the Mountain West and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Then like, where do you go? So my natural thought was Big 12. So could be something within the next couple weeks where they get looked at for that. But it wouldn't just be basketball. It would be some of their other sports like
I don't
soccer and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of traveling for all of those kids, right?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't either, but as we've seen the way things are going in college and the way the money is from the networks and
Whatever.
television and broadcasting and all that stuff.
There's a lot of Zags
Everybody
fans
needs it.
that go to those WCC away games, California, all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
where all of a sudden now if they're going out east, I don't like it. I don't like it for the fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Okay.
Their schedule's been out. A couple of big games. They have the game against USC.
Nice.
Against LeBron's boy, right? So that'll be in Vegas on December 2nd. And then they just announced that they're going to have a game in the arena against Pepperdine.
Sweet.
In January, so that'll be January 4th. So that's cool because we were just talking about that last week. If you can get into some of the bigger stadiums so more people can come and enjoy.
Yeah, hard to get in the kennel,
Right.
but the Spokane Arena, it'd be
12,000.
a good chance. Get in there. We
12,000
better get
seats.
tickets.
Yep.
Want to talk
That was
about
the big
Luka,
one.
the Croatian
Do you want to?
freshman?
The Croatian sensation.
The
Are you
Croatian
expecting big
sensation.
things from him?
Big things are going to happen with Luka.
Well, you brought it up, but he had a heck of a night the other night for the Crazy in the Kennel.
Sweet.
Right? Like
Dobro.
Yeah, he did very well. He was kind of like one of the main highlights coming out of that evening. Not on purpose. He just did very well at the showcase. So
Onya Yak.
I have no clue what you're saying.
Yak means strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you telling me I'm strong?
No, I'm saying Luka's strong.
Tell me I'm strong.
TC Yak.
I don't think you said I'm strong.
On nezna nisht.
The way you
Onya
said...
malo lud.
What is going on? You made me sound like I'm weak.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yep. We'll have to teach you some Croatian.
No, but he did very well.
That's awesome.
So that's
Go
good.
Luka.
Yep.
There's a song about him.
Well, some of our listeners now know the song.
I got in a lot of
thanks to
trouble, right?
Yes.
Thought
Well,
it was Trace.
did you figure out who sang it?
Oh wait, it came up. It's not Tracy Chapman. I apologize. I forgot the name.
That's okay, but we know it's not Tracy Chapman.
Right.
The other thing that I read it today is that there could be a possibility that Gonzaga could be playing if they make it to the NCAA tournament, which they're projected to do. And if all the projections are correct, they could play in Spokane for the first two rounds.
Oh, sweet. That would be a ton of fun.
Yeah, so that was kind of news that I got excited about this evening when I saw that. So they could actually be here. And the reason that is because actually the Idaho Vandals would be the host
Cool
this
arena.
year. So
that'd be a fun arena.
So
to
it's
see.
in the Spokane Arena, and Idaho Vandals will be the host regardless. But that's why Gonzaga can play there, because I guess there's a rule where if Gonzaga was the host for that particular site, they couldn't play
U
there.
of I's hosting.
Yes.
Not necessarily playing at U of I. Okay.
Right. No, it would be in the Spokane Arena, and
Sweet.
so that would
That's
be
awesome.
that would
That's
be really
huge.
cool.
Oh my
really
gosh,
cool.
Spokane would go crazy.
And folks, if you've never been to an NCAA tournament game, wherever it is, like wherever you're listening to this, if you have a chance to be able to go, get the ticket. And you'll see a couple of games. It is so much fun.
College bands.
It is amazing. The roar of the crowds.
Neat sporting event.
Think about some of those awesome buzzer beater games and stuff like that you've seen. Like, it gives me chills thinking about the one that I went to years ago with my buddy, and I got to see Kevin Durant's last game
awesome.
when he played for Texas, and they lost to USC that night, and it was such a cool thing to see the crowds and the noise and the excitement. Super fun.
I agree. Okay. Hey, Corey,
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out
Let's do it.
to the Coeur d'Alene High School cross country team.
A little local action.
Yep,
They're doing big things.
They had a huge event in Oregon and scored in the top 10 in the country. Beat out a lot of private schools. So for a small public school, high school in the Northwest, go Coeur d'Alene Vikings. Keep rocking it.
Yeah. And I read that, I got it right up here, I pulled it up. The first Idaho team to ever win the Nike Hole in the Wall race last weekend in Western Washington.
It's a big deal. Good for those kids.
So they're doing some cool stuff there.
Yeah. Have you ever ran a mile?
I have.
Have you ever run 10 miles?
10 miles. I don't think I ran 10 miles. Not
straight in one place. Okay, maybe from the police.
10 miles? Well, what do you say we go on to you got some Carroll College Corner here? Carroll Corner time?
We always have the Carroll Corner.
All right, let's do it.
So, football team, the Fighting Saints had a bye last week, but even with the bye, they moved up one spot just from some of the action that happened in the Frontier League. So, Montana Tech lost, and so that's bumped them up to number 7 in the nation. Pretty
Awesome.
Exciting.
Yeah.
They have a big game coming up against Eastern Oregon in La Grande. So pretty excited about that. I think they took they took advantage of having that time off with healing a few dings and bruises. Knock on wood, they haven't had anything major, so I think they were pretty smart with how they use that bye week and just keep on knocking down the dominoes. Eastern Oregon's next. They have some other big games coming up against C of I, Southern Oregon, and then at the end of the season, matching up again with Montana Tech. So, they just keep fighting one game at a time, and good things are going to happen. Pretty exciting. In other Carroll Corner news, the men's and women's team play this week at Oregon Tech.
Is this soccer?
Soccer, sorry.
Let's go.
Thanks for
I was on top of it.
Keep me on track.
We got it.
Men's and women's team, I know. On the pitch, in Oregon Tech, Southern Oregon University. So they're still battling along. The women's team did have their first loss of the season last week to C of I, which that's a tough one. And
College of Idaho.
I know those ladies are mad. We could probably have them on
they'd be on the I'm Mad
section. But,
I actually have a good friend of mine. Their daughter plays for C of I.
Okay.
Yeah, she plays on that team.
Good program, whatever. But there's a lot of good rivalry between Carroll and C of I. So, those ladies are going to bounce back, and I know that's going to, sometimes when you have a loss like that against a rival, it motivates you to just work harder, and I know that's what they're doing.
Is there a chance they could see them again?
Yes.
Probably in the tournament or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Revenge.
Cool. Well, they can get them then.
Revenge is a dish best served.
It's tough for me. I have friends that play on both teams.
Yeah, sorry.
I might have to be impartial.
Well, if you're cheering for C of I, I'm going to go back to the Dick Butkus tackle for you.
Okay.
It's going to be a forearm shiver right in the kisser.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Do you think, did you have anything else for Carol Corner, or do you think I've gotten you upset enough to go into I'm mad?
I think you've gotten me a little upset. I'm ready for I'm mad.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we go to the mailbag first for I'm mad?
I think we should.
Remember, if you want to mail us, send us a quick mail to trailsidedukes@gmail.com, and we'll go right to it, and maybe yours will get read. You know, everybody's mad about something, Tony, right?
I wish it was a happier world.
Well, like this week, this one comes from Mario Cristobal, the University of Miami Hurricanes football coach. He says here, "Hey boys, love the show. I am mad about not kneeling the ball in a loss in the final seconds to Georgia Tech."
What happened there?
I think he's referring to they were winning. They're undefeated.
Right.
So his team was winning, and all they had to do was a couple of kneel downs, run out the clock.
Oh boy.
Game over. Instead, they hand the ball off to the running back. He fumbles. Turnover. Georgia Tech gets the ball with just a little bit of time left on the clock. Throw a huge pass down the field, and Georgia Tech ends up winning the game with like 1 second left.
Mario's mad.
He is very mad. So appreciate you sharing that with us, Coach. Sorry it didn't work out for you. Life lessons. We're all about life lessons on Trailside Dukes, Tony. So
I agree.
Maybe a life lesson there for Coach Mario.
Okay.
We've got another one here from your buddy Rory Mcllroy.
Rory.
He says, I'm not Scottish.
He's not?
He says that he's upset that you were calling him Scottish last week.
What is he?
I think he's Irish.
Okay, well, listen, I screwed up. I'm not perfect, right? Like, I screwed up the Luca thing.
I told you he was upset. He was fired up.
Yeah. All right, Rory, I'm sorry. I messed up your nationality. I know a lot of Scotchmen and Irishmen, and they definitely would want that, differentiated. So, all right then. Okay, sorry.
Do you think we should, maybe he'd like a little cheers, drink, sip to, Irish like to
Irish?
drink, right?
Okay.
Maybe. Cheers. Aye. Rory?
My man.
Okay, so what are you mad about this week?
Poof, you know what I mean? Like, can I defer to you to start off with?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I have something I'm mad about.
Okay.
I am upset with, we're getting close to winter time. Not super close, but maybe a little bit, forward thinking here. But I'm mad at Silver Mountain in North Idaho for their price jacking of season tickets.
Not
you know. I wouldn't mind if you're increasing the price of the season pass to be able to do some improvement on the mountain. But Tony, you know this, like Chair 4, how old is Chair 4? It's been there since like the Jackass days on the mountain. Like we're talking like 60s and 90s or 70s.
Silver Mountain was called Jackass before it was switched to Silver Mountain.
The Jackass run, yeah.
Right, so
Jackass.
it's the same chair lifts. They haven't done
the same chair.
They haven't done any improvements, but they're jacking up the price.
Bringing the price up, they've done nothing to the building as far as improving the lodge. I just don't see a lot of improvements going on with the prices going up. So that's what I'm mad about. If you're excited about a piece of tinsel that's been sitting downstairs since Mardi Gras of 1999, then that's great. Fine, go eat your lunch next to the piece of tinsel they forgot to take down off the wall.
Like it.
But
dang it.
You got to show me some improvements, Silver Mountain. So that's what I'm mad about.
Okay. Mine is a little bit more personal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, with the cold weather that has come in, if you have a wife that is a gardener that has stuff and then, it's getting close to freezing temperatures.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you got the tomatoes that are hanging down. You don't leave them out there. So now they're hanging all over in the garage. I got plants hanging off my bikes. I got plants hanging everywhere. like it's good food. So I take it with a grain of salt. I love, that she spends a lot of time and hard work doing those things. But I guess you got to pay a price somewhere, and you got like stuff hanging in your garage all over now. So that we'll deal with that for a little while.
The garage is a greenhouse for a moment.
I guess so.
Okay.
No, okay. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I know.
So that wraps up the segment of I'm Mad.
That's right? That's it.
Maybe we should go on to We Have Cool Friends.
I think we should roll on to Cool Friends. This will be a good one. I'm excited. Okay. We're over here on the Cool Friends segment, Corey.
Today we have one of our super cool special friends. I'm excited to introduce to everybody our friend, Chad Murray.
I can hear the fans cheering in the background. Chad, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Really good.
Doing well. Wish I was in your hot tub with you right now.
It's good to know I'm one of your guys' good friends. That's good to know.
Definite cool friend, my friend. Chad.
Yes.
Don't be like, I know you're sitting in the hot tub and, you know what I mean, but don't be like falling underneath the water like one of our other friends.
I would never do that.
Right. So, Chad, you grew up in a pretty interesting place, Clarkston, Washington.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us about growing up in Clarkston. I mean, cats, whatever you want to get into.
It was right next to Lewiston. There was plenty of stuff to do outdoors. I drove a 78 Chevy pickup that I thought was the coolest thing in the world, and there was really no worries in the world in Clarkston. All we cared about was trying to beat Lewiston in sports.
Fun.
What kind of sports did you play growing up?
I played football, basketball, and baseball.
Yeah, baby.
Yep.
What do you think, playing those three sports, which one did you enjoy the most, would you think?
I probably enjoyed football the most, but I was probably better at baseball. But football's nothing better than Friday night in the fall playing football in your hometown, for sure.
Super fun. Hey, Clarkston has an interesting nickname, don't they? What are they?
They're the Bantams. I don't know if I can say their real nickname, but
Well, I mean, you can. It's not your fault, right?
well, they're the Fighting Cocks. I mean, fighting chickens. So mighty, small but mighty.
Right. Those chickens, they can be deadly.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
So when you guys were in like a huddle or something, you break, or if for like basketball or something, what would you guys say? Like at Coeur d'Alene High School, we say Vikes on 3, 1, 2, 3, Vikes. Like, what would you guys say?
I think we had to say Bantams, but I think we'd rather say, Fighting Cocks. But I think we just said Bantams,
Right.
But what's interesting is there was such a big rivalry between Lewiston and Clarkston. There's a couple bridges that connect Lewiston and Clarkston over the Snake River, and back in the day they used to hang dead chickens and dead cats from the bridge as part of the rivalry. Not when I was there, but
Right.
long
Wow.
time ago. So that's how serious it was.
That's intense.
Dang.
Hopefully the animal rights people, I'm sure they were all over that, but hello.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably
Wild
not,
and
probably
willing.
not. Either or whoever that is probably wouldn't like that.
Chad, out of high school, and I know you were pretty serious into baseball, but like, what was your journey after high school?
Well, I went to the North Idaho College there in Coeur d'Alene, a Cardinal, and played baseball for a year for Jack Bloxham. You guys probably don't even know who he is. He's since passed away, but he was the baseball coach at North Idaho College for probably like 30 years, up until probably like 1998. And then from there, I was going to go play some more baseball, but then I just decided, I think I better get an education, and I went to the University of Idaho, and I think and just hung it all up, hung the cleats up.
Yep.
Okay, so you brought it up, U of I. I know maybe you were a little upset that we didn't talk about them last week, but we're going to definitely talk about them this week.
I heard it. Chad was mad.
What were you mad about, Chad?
Well, I just thought, you guys were talking, and rightly so. You're going to talk about the Carroll Saints, which is awesome, and what Jack's doing over there. But I heard you bring up WSU, and you might even have brought UW and Oregon or a few of these, but didn't have any mention of the University of Idaho. They're number 3 in the FCS rankings right now.
They are.
They've lost to Cal, but they beat Sac State, and they beat some good teams, and they play University of Montana this weekend, and they got a good chance of making the playoffs and going deep. So I just was a little surprised that you didn't at least mention them. That's all. I was a little mad.
Chad, you were mad.
I was.
You're a big supporter of U of I. You went to U of I. I mean, before we get into this, because we are going to talk about this game with you. I know you're going. This is homecoming, right?
Yep, homecoming.
A lot of U of I people are going to this game. It's been on their calendar for a while. Wow, what the heck? We'll go back to his history. Let's just talk about this game, right?
Well, this is the Battle of the Little Brown Jug, right, Chad? And this is old school Big Sky rivalry back in the day. So I think it's kind of somewhat nostalgic because it's very cool, and both teams are very good. They're both 5-1 this season.
Montana's 5-1.
Montana's 5-1. They're number 16 in the top 25 FCS poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Little Brown Stein. We have it right now because we beat University of Montana in Missoula last year, but I think they've been playing for this Little Brown Stein for like 85 years. I mean, they've been playing since like the early 1900s.
That's fun. That's cool, that history.
Yeah, and I just for everybody's record, I think Idaho is 56-30-2.
Wow.
In 88 meetings. So you might think that the Grizz have the best of Idaho, but they don't.
There you go.
They used to. Idaho has a rich history. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, they won a lot of football games, and then they went to Division I and tried to compete in a different world. And now they're back to the Big Sky, which is awesome because we're playing good teams like Eastern Washington and Montana State and Sac State, and there's a lot of good Division II football teams.
A lot more excitement than in the what were they in the Sun Conference? What the heck was that?
They didn't even know who they were playing.
They were in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, nobody knew who they were playing.
Arkansas State and stuff like that.
Yeah, way more exciting.
I just counted it up, Chad, since you mentioned it. The Big Sky has 8 teams in the top 25 right now for FCS.
That's amazing, isn't it? I think.
So that just shows you how competitive that league is.
Yeah, and Jason Eck, Coach Eck at Idaho, this is his second year, and he's doing awesome. I mean, we just need to get more Coeur d'Alene kids there, but he's doing awesome. I hope we can keep him, and I think he's an offensive-minded guy, but, their defense is a lot better this year, and, I think my prediction is we're going to beat University of Montana this week, but we play Montana State also at the end of October in the Kibbe Dome. So
that's another big one.
Well, it's probably the first time in a while that we played both Montana schools in Moscow in the same year. So
it's awesome, man. What's your prediction for this week's game? I mean, I know you're predicting Idaho to win, but what's the score?
Give us a score.
Oh man, I'll say 35-20. How's that?
Okay.
What do you think, Corey?
I think it's going to be another, kind of like last week against Eastern, I think it's going to be another offensive showdown. So I think I'd say 35-32.
Ooh.
Okay.
Vandals. Idaho. Idaho.
I think if you
Go.
talk to Grizz fans, they are realizing that this team is a little bit down. I don't think their offense is where they should be at, and I think the Vandals D will hammer them. I think Montana scores 10 points, U of I scores 28.
Wow. Okay. There we go.
Nice.
So Chad, finish college up. Let's bring you, back to
wait.
What do you got?
Because he was at U of I during some of those prime times.
Oh,
Chad,
yeah.
did you know some of those players back in those days?
I missed some of the ones that you guys would probably remember, like John Freeze. I don't know if you guys know Ryan Phillips. He lives in Coeur d'Alene now.
Mm-hmm.
I just missed those guys. There was quite a few guys prior, to the time I was there that I went to the NFL. But we, in 1998, my last year at U of I, it was the last year we beat Boise State. And prior to that, we had a 15-year win streak against Boise State, and we won the Humanitarian Bowl. And I know a lot of the guys on that '98 football team. But I don't know if very many of those guys went to the NFL. But we were a pretty good team. We beat Southern Mississippi State that year, which is where Brett Favre went, if you remember where
Right.
Brett played closures. So
Sweet.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's a big deal.
So, Tony, before we get out of the college stuff, we play Idaho State this year in November.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The mighty Bengals. Hey, they gave Montana a good game.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they lost by a touchdown. They're on the upswing. The mighty Bengals have a lot of things against them and a lot of coaching changes, but I think they're on the right track. I'm not saying they'll beat U of I, but whatever.
Well, I'm assuming that Carroll is going to be in the playoffs, but if they, for some reason, Idaho State plays in the Kibbie Dome on November 18th, if you want to go,
Okay.
you can come sit in our box.
There we go.
Okay. Fun.
Perka still has a year of eligibility left, right, Chad?
I didn't know that.
He's thinking
That's
about it.
interesting.
Yep, it might be a comeback. Right. I know. That's how I live by. My last, if you spell Tony backwards, it says why not, and that's kind of my life credo. Why not?
Nice.
Hey, Chad, you have two amazing kids. One of them's a freshman at Coeur d'Alene High School. Like Jack Perka went through Coeur d'Alene High School, and you and I used to talk as Ben was growing up, and like Coeur d'Alene has the culture and stuff. What have you noticed as a parent in Ben being at Coeur d'Alene High School?
Well, I think my first experience is him in the football program there, and I think, whatever they've done, Coach Amos and the rest of that coaching staff, Tony, you were on that coaching staff for a long time, they just give these kids a home.
Yeah.
They, there's a lot of kids that, they're not sure if they want to be in football. They don't know if they want to, they may not be a starter, but they treat every single kid the same, and those kids feel like they're part of something. So they've got something special going on there that I feel lucky that my son gets to be a part of that program, to be honest. So.
Yep, I did too. It's a neat culture. It's not doesn't come along easy. Those coaches put a lot of hard work into it. They're working year round, right? And some people think coaches in Idaho like, oh, you're getting a big. If you put in the time that they put in and equate it with their stipend they get, it's pennies, and they're not doing it for that. It's total love and it's fun, and I'm glad you see that.
Yeah, no, I totally see it. I think that whatever Coach Amos, the recipe that it's taken a long time, and I think that they're producing a lot of kids that maybe wouldn't even play football that become really good athletes, and and a lot of times that gives kids a lot of confidence, as they go on in life. So I love it. I think it's great.
Well, I'm just putting it out there because I know you're modest, but Ben Murray, keep an eye on him. There's, a lot of like kids on that freshman group that people are keeping an eye on as they keep, getting older. It's going to be fun seeing them play varsity for sure.
They've got a good group. They are a group that we should probably pay attention to. Somebody gave me some stats of, they've kind of blown everybody out this year except for Rigby and Rocky. But then they look at the Rigby and Rocky wins and the point differentials, and we beat both those teams. And because I was asking Mike Lindquist, which I would consider kind of a football guy, I said, is this group really that good, or are we just not playing good competition. And so he kind of dug into the stats and the points scored and different things. And, what he came up with, he said, this is a pretty special team. And they've got a pretty good quarterback in Tanner Stern.
Yeah.
And, when you can get the ball, you can get the ball to those receivers and those skill players and play defense, they're pretty tough.
Yep, I've seen a couple of games. They're really good. And you got a tough matchup, I think, with Post Falls this week. This will say a lot.
Homecoming week.
Yeah, I think the freshman JV play tomorrow, and then varsity plays on Friday. And I think if Coeur d'Alene varsity can get past Post Falls, they should be in good shape for hopefully making it to state.
Yeah, no, they're putting together a run. They've played some teams tough. That win against Union was a big one, and now as they're in league, you know what I mean? This is they've got a good shot. Once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun.
Okay.
Hey, we'd be remiss, Corey, if we didn't mention the tennis program, wouldn't we?
Well, you can definitely mention you do have more than one kid. So tell us what Kate's been doing and maybe your thoughts on the tennis program. And you can say whatever you want. I'm not.
Can you bash the coach?
My coaching hat is not on right now.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if your listeners, I don't know if they know, but Corey is the varsity boys tennis coach for Coeur d'Alene. Again, it's another program. I think, my daughter plays tennis, and, she got cut from the volleyball team and has kind of taken tennis up later in life. And the tennis program has given her a little bit of purpose. And, she's actually practicing 3 or 4 times a week at peak tennis right now, trying to get better so that she can try to make varsity next year. So, again, I think it's another program that, gives kids good opportunities and has good coaches. Corey, thanks for coaching.
Yeah, my pleasure.
That's cool. You're blushing.
I like it. I do it. I like the way we try to do our thing with the kids. The football program has their thing, and I'm trying to make it where we have ours. And the group of kids that have come, before Kate have helped kind of establish that. And I think that's with any sport, right? Like if you have the same coach and some of the same players, and you get through COVID, and then you get to start building on something, and it can kind of go year to year. And some of those newer players coming up from JV can catch into that, and it's a really cool environment. It's great for the girls. We have a lot of girls that come out for tennis, so I'd rather see them on the court than out in town getting in trouble or
playing video
not
games.
Doing something outside active. Yeah,
it's all about culture, baby.
Yep.
Fun. Okay. Well, hey, Chad, we kind of like to end with our interviews with cool friends and stuff, kind of like a life philosophy, something that, has been ingrained in you that you wouldn't mind sharing with people. What do you got?
Well, you guys are probably, it's an age-old saying, but hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to work. You guys heard that saying?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So, I think just in general, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I can outwork just about anybody. And I think that goes to sports, that goes to teaching, business, whatever you're doing in life. If you work hard, good things will happen.
I like it.
I like it too. I like how smart that sounded after a night of raging with Mcllroy last night. You're an animal.
I'll tell you, if you ever go see Mcllroy, he puts on an okay show. I mean, he's not my cup of tea, but he sure is. He gives a lot of life. He's almost like a preacher. He's into life lessons and stuff. So he was entertaining. Yeah.
Did at any point you think about like maybe wanting to get a face tattoo?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Didn't cross my mind.
Right.
Well, you're still smart then. That was a test.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, Chad, we love you, man.
I was sober.
Thanks for hanging out with us for a while. Go Vandals, go Vikes, and keep working hard and having fun.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll be listening for you guys fall in the Vandals this season, see how far they can go.
Okay.
And the
Okay,
Trailside.
you got it.
Don't be mad anymore.
I won't. I'm happy.
Okay. Thanks, Chad.
See you guys.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. We want to thank you for joining us. If you like what you're hearing,
Butt kiss.
Oh boy. Make sure you like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications so you know when the next episode comes out. Until then, be good to each other.
Salute. Dobro.